Okay, I got my gaskets today. I moved number 3 and number 2 out to the job. I put my four-wheeler in the bowl and then rode home. Yeah, I don't have an ATV trailer, so I thought I'd take this baby. And I had to keep telling myself, don't, whatever you do, Jeff, don't run the ejector forward when you get there. Don't, or you'll smash your four-wheeler. Don't do any smoothing. Don't raise the apron. Don't do anything. Get the four-wheeler out first. Tonka truck. So first thing I got to do is get this thrust washer in there for the crank. Actually, I think this is the rear one, and I believe this is the front one. Yep, that's the front one. So I got out my grease. Assembly grease, number 1 luber plate, number 105 motor grease. Get that lubed up and get it put in there. So I had a heck of a time getting this together so it wouldn't lock up the crank, and the problem is you got to assemble it like this, and you got to put lots of grease on the thrust bearing and the cap, and then get it started and go down gently, because where the thrust washer goes in the cap, there's like tits all the way around, and if you get off of one of those, it's going to lock it up. Anyway, so I called him to find out what the crankshaft end play was going to be, because this rear thrust washer has all the silver colored bearing material wore off of it. It's wore down to the copper, and the front one's wore pretty good on 3 spots. So she said that they don't always replace everything, and I'm like, good God, what good does it do to rebuild it if you're not going to replace a couple of $2 thrust bearings? Anyway, where the thrust bearing touches on the crank up here, it's not a good surface either. It should have been machined or ground, cleaned up at least. So I've got it in there, and I got the dial indicator hooked up to it, and we got 20 thousandths of crank movement. 20 thousandths, that's a lot. Anyway, so in my cat book, it has a whole section on these compressors, but nowhere in there does it tell you what kind of end play you should have. Installing the crankshaft, blah, 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 nothing on the end play. Clearance for the connecting rod journal and the connecting rod bearing must not be less than 0.0003 or more than 0.0021. That's not a lot. But they don't tell you the end play. Wouldn't that be kind of important stuff you need to know? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's some spec crankshaft out of round. 10, 20, and 30 undersizes. Main bearings must be oil seam. Does not say any more than that right there about the crankshaft. So anyway, guess I'll have to put it together. She admitted this thing's been sitting on the shelf a long time. Long time. I don't doubt it. So if it blows up, since I've taken it apart, you know who's going to eat that. They'll blame it on me. 20,000 seems like a lot. I think the max on a 343 is like 18. So I think some new thrust bearings, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe they make thrust bearings that are different thicknesses. I don't know. Sure wish I did. But apparently the guy that builds them doesn't come in until 7 in the morning. He must leave early too, because I just called. It was 4:30. And he ain't there, which means it's 3:30 their time. So I don't know. My only choice is just go ahead and put it together. I can't wait anymore. I should have just sent it back. That's what I should have done. Okay, so I got the crank in, spins freely. Got the gasket set on. I'm ready to install this. I've turned the connecting rods 180. Marked them. It's obvious which one's which. This is looks like an aluminum rod. And this one looks like a forged or cast, whatever. How do you do that? How do you put an aluminum one in there and a cast one? That just seems wrong, doesn't it? Alright, so now, jeez, I gotta get that on there and get some bolts. This is gonna suck. You know, it's really not the way you put an engine together with the pistons in the block. Generally put the block on, then put the pistons in one at a time. So this is going to be challenging. Gotta figure out how to do this and make it work and not have a disaster. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, and then make sure, I got to make sure to put it together right so I don't have to take it apart. All right, so let me see if I can figure that shit out. Okay. We shall now attempt the impossible. Okay, these mounting surfaces are pretty crappy surfaces. They never get machined, so I'm going to do what I'm not allowed to do because, like I said, if anything goes wrong with this, since I tore it apart, they're going to blame it on my ass. But if you use just a super thin bead like this, you're going to be fine, Jeff. You're going to be fine. Because that other compressor leaked pretty good out the sides over time. And I got out my spray adhesive that Farmer John sent me, but she's gone hard on me. So that's not happening. All right, now put it on correctly, Jeffrey. That goes down in there like it. Oh, there, Mr. Jeffrey. There. Ooh, jeez, Jeff. All right. Get that all lined up. All right. All right. Double check it. Make sure I put it on the right side. I did. I did. You know how to get a fat girl in bed? Piece of cake. It's like putting compressors together. Piece of cake. I keep asking myself, what if I forgot? What did I forget to do? And nothing comes to mind, but I'll figure it out. Somewhere later on, I'll figure out that I've done something wrong. Like hooking up that connecting rod to that one cylinder that's all the way to the top. I don't know. I wonder if I can take out the discharge valve and run something down there and push on it. What do you think? What are the odds being able to do that? Slim to none, slim to some. Anyway, this is not even beginning to really address the problem I've got on the scraper. This is not going to fix the water in the antifreeze coolant in the oil situation in which I face. It's not gonna. It just ain't gonna, Jeff. It's not gonna. Okay, now gotta get the con rods bolted up to her. And that one came down on there correctly about how I wanted it. Sorta, kinda. You wanna see in the hole? Wanna have a look in my hole there? That one went right in and turned and was lined up, but this other one's not cooperating. Okay, that's like lightly snuggied. That one's snugged. See, so this one, I gotta figure out how to turn that somehow. Somehow. Oh, man. There we go. Maybe like that. Uh-oh, phone call. Mrs. Jpaydirt. Hello.
Still at the shop?
I am.
Do you want a hamburger?
Do you want to make me a hamburger?
I guess I had to go buy some hamburger.
Okay, well then I want one, if you want to make me one.
Alright.
But Mrs. Jpaydirt wants to make me a hamburger. You heard it. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Well, these weren't real super tight, so I don't know. What do you do if you don't know the torque? 'Cause I don't know the torque, Jeffrey. I don't freaking know. I don't want to overdo it. Frickin' things. Grade 3 bolts, whatever they are. I'll just torque them down to where they line back up and lock them in, I guess. I don't know what to do there. They do line up pretty good right there, but I'll bet money I could hork them suckers one more time. So anyway, there they are. Torquaged. He's back? I don't know. Okay, so I actually found some stuff on the internet, downloaded a PDF of the specifications, and it's 165 to 170 inch-pounds. So by the time I tightened these so that these flats were right here, and then I put the torque wrench on, it's torqued where it needs to be, but I should have told them to send me some new locks. I didn't know those were in there. I think that's a one-time use piece of tin crap there. So anyway, let's get the pan on, crankcase cover, and we can start changing fittings. Come on. Okay, putting the pan on. Got Mr. Griffey out here helping me. Not. He's whining. He don't want to be out here. He thought was coming to the shop to get some bones, I think. And he's ate all these bones that he hid out here, so now he's whining. He wants some more. That dog, after he eats dinner, he can never get full. He's just always hungry. Huh? So this is basically together. So tomorrow I need to go get the D9 moved out where the scrapers are at. And then probably come back here and get this on. And then try to start diagnosing the coolant problem. Just drop the belly pan, I think, and take the input side of the oil to the cooler off. And see if antifreeze runs out, because there's still antifreeze in the cooler. But not enough to push it up in through the oiling system. It's just in the cooler. Block's basically empty. You can see the silicone squeezing out. Man, I put just a little teeny bit on there. Not a lot. And I put it all on the outside, none on the inside. So I'm just positive there's none on the inside, you know? But I also cleaned those surfaces with ether. And that'll make it so that silicone can never come off. It will stick there. It won't come off. Anyway, we'll let this sit overnight. And then retorque everything in the morning. And I'll bet you $1 million I have a clean compressor, no leaks. Now, whether it lasts or not, throws a rod or whatever, that's a whole nother story. All right, so I'm going to go outside. I'm going to set up my Hero 9 GoPro, because it seems to be the only one that does a decent job at night lapses. And I'm going to put it on the top of my truck and then hook the charge cable to it, so she'll run all night. Anyway, should be make for an interesting video, because it looks like we have a full moon. So, ready to go in the house, Mr. Griff? Ready to go? So they sent me 2 gaskets. That one's kind of cut on the side. I don't know what that was about. They knew what compressor I had. I don't know why they needed to feel like they needed to send me that gasket, but whatever. So, let's see, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there it is. 3/4 moon. I got a 3/4 cam. So, I got to figure out where I'm going to do this, because I don't want a lot of light. Mr. Griff's wondering what the hell we're doing. Say goodnight, Mr. Griff. Night, everybody.